Hello, this is Reindeer's Bees, and today I'm going to show you how to split hives to prepare them for virgin queens.
I didn't think this hive would be very full of bees, but there's tons of bees in here and they're very calm, which is never a bad thing. I always enjoy that. There's some great pollen in there, some sugar water, or nectar in there too. Drones and baby nurse bees. I'm gonna find 2 frames of brood that's being capped for these splits. Actually, one frame of eggs and 1 frame of capped brood. And normally I just use capped brood, but because of the specific type of split I'm gonna make, I want to make sure there's some eggs, and I'll explain later in the video why that is, or do a voiceover because today's busy. But this hive has a bunch of queen caps, which don't mean anything unless there's an egg in them, and in this case there is not an egg in them. This frame has eggs, capped brood, pollen, all in here. So I think take this frame. I do need to find the queen. But I think I'll be able to do it. She'll be somewhere in here. I moved these hives to this apiary 1 week ago. They were very, very, very angry at me when I moved them. It was my first time moving hives and it was a disaster to say the least. I didn't have any time to film, but I can talk about it in another video. It went pretty poorly. But here I am, still being a beekeeper, so I've survived it. Here's the queen. She's right, let's get her centered. She's right there. Beautiful queen. She's right in here. Set her right there. This frame's full of capped brood, so I'm taking this too. I will use those honey frames to feed these hives. I may light a smoker here. They were very calm at the beginning, but they're getting a little excited now. But what I'm gonna do is find some more frames with larvae on them and shake those bees into the box so they'll be able to stay warm after I split them. And I also want to know how many frames of brood they have, because I'd like to split them again next weekend and pull out 2 more frames of brood. So they're starting to draw comb on this frame. Probably can't see that. I hope they were going to do more, and it looks like they only have about 3 frames of brood, which isn't a whole lot. But they did lose their foraging force because I didn't move them at the right time. So that's probably why. Bees are on a nectar flow. There's plenty of nectar in here. So I'm going to move some of these strong combs next to the brood nest and shake some bees. Ideally it'd be larvae, but there are no larvae, so I have to just settle for capped brood. I'm going to leave this my box open. It has my splits in it because I want all the young nurse bees, or all the foragers, to fly out. So all that's left is just nurse bees. I think that's enough nurse bees. I want to leave them with something so I can split them again next week. Right. So they got 3 frames of brood, really like 2.5 because this frame's very warped. I'm trying to get it out of their hive for years, but not yet. Yeah, hopefully they get to some comb drawing this week and filling up some more brood frames because they only have about 3 brood frames left, which isn't a whole lot. And I'd like to take 2 more next weekend, but you can only take, so much. So we'll see how it goes. That's hive 1 split. And here is the queen, just right in here. I'm just going to release her. She went back down. This hive will be very interesting. I have no idea whether they are queen right or not, because I damaged the queen, or at least I'm pretty sure I damaged the queen last week. Just from the looks of it, They don't look queenless. Maybe they still have her. But they also look not very excited about me being here. So I'm gonna go ahead and light the smoker and I'll be right back. All right, smoker lit, here we go. Is the hive queen right or not? Just an empty frame, a little bit of nectar. Empty, just a tiny bit of capped brood, but I don't see any eggs, which is a little worrisome. Maybe she didn't, you know, if she was in here, I would hope she'd be laying that, but maybe she's still in here. All right, I do see some eggs, so she has, I didn't kill her last weekend, like I thought I might have. Pattern seems a little spotty though. So it's possible that I didn't kill her, but I damaged her. I tried to pick her up and put her in a queen cage because I was trying to do something with a certain frame, and it completely backfired and I almost killed her, so don't do that. Hive's not really bursting. There's not a whole lot of brood down here. This frame's really good though. I think I will take it. It's got a lot of capped brood over here and some larvae and eggs on the other side. And I realized I haven't found the queen yet, so I'll need to double check that other frame if I don't find the queen. She's, you know, statistically she's not that probable to be on there, but you know, who knows? She could always be on there. This frame has some larvae, eggs. It's just kind of odd. She's not like filling up the whole box. Not like she's not laying. She is. Just not a ton. Which I find kind of unusual. Because she was doing incredibly well. Strongest hive that I had. But, I don't know what to make of it really. I mean, they have a certain excuse. They lost their foraging force last week when I moved them at 8:30 when I thought they'd still be in the hive, but they weren't. And so, you know, it is what it is. It happens. I'm gonna take this frame of pollen for my queen, for my grafting. Not graft from the frame of pollen, but use it in my cell builder to feed the larvae. So I pulled one frame. They're actually pretty calm, for most of this inspection at least. So I will drop in a couple frames. Fill out this box. She's a really fat yellow queen, so I'm pretty confident that I didn't miss her because this queen's hard to miss. So don't do what I just did, which is leave this out in the sun so it starts to melt. Don't do that. Put it in the shade. So I'm gonna stick between the rocks here. It'll be fine, hopefully. But if you do let it melt off the foundation, then the bees, when it's time to draw it, will not want to draw it anymore. So, little tip that came and taught me. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with her, because, I don't know, she was booming earlier this spring. The past couple weeks, she's kind of, not fallen off a cliff, but like, hasn't been as good as she was, not laying quite as much brood. And I don't really know why that is. We'll see if she turns it on again. Good. All right, I need one more frame of capped brood from the hive here. And ideally I'd like to find the queen. I'm pretty confident I didn't miss her, but it has happened. Okay, here's some eggs. So, just take a double take for the queen here. She didn't fall down. Full of larvae. I bet she's right up here. Full of eggs. A lot of eggs. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful frame. Capped brood. Both sides. I'm taking that. And I need some more bees to shake in to make sure that it'll stay warm. Another Beautiful frame of cat's brood. Pretty sure I haven't missed her, but once again, it can't happen, as always. But I would bet she's on one of these last 3 frames here, laying up a storm. All right. Here is another great frame of brood. And still no queen. So I'm seeing there's no brood on the next frame. So there's probably a good shot I missed her, but I'm gonna look at these last 2 frames. Oh wow, no, never mind, there is brood on this frame. She could definitely be on here. Yeah, so I missed her, which is never a fun thing. I'm gonna take a quick peek through this box and then I'll let you know if I find her. What do you know? I didn't check the first frame because it had food on it, and she's right there. In beekeeping, you never know. Anyway, so I'm just gonna catch her real quick. I thought I killed her last week, but she looks perfectly fine now. So, thankful for that. And I'm thankful for this beautiful day. It's in the 70s with the breeze. It's great. Happy to be out here doing this. So, I'm gonna shake some bees in. And, oh, just getting swished. I accidentally opened it a little bit. There she goes. Let me grab her one more time. So I accidentally opened it just a little bit, and then she got stuck. And I really didn't want her to get stuck in there. And I'm setting the queen cage, or the queen clip, in a in the shade, because last year I killed like 4 or 5 queens because I didn't set them in the shade. I set them in my bee bag in the sun, and it cooked like 4 or 5 queens. It was terrible. Luckily I hadn't sold them already, but still extremely disappointing when that happens. So I'm gonna get these frames right in here and leave them alone for a week. And I'll come back in a week and I might split them down pretty heavily, like into one box. We'll see. I'm gonna release the queen and close them up, come back in a week. I actually got stuck driving in here, so I had to walk across the field, which is not ideal, but I'm gonna call my grandfather and he'll drag me out with the tractor, so that'll solve that problem. Nice full colony of bees. Didn't immediately try to murder me, which is always appreciated. Thank you, bees. Give them a little puff of smoke. Same thing as the other hive. Want to find the queen, find a frame of larvae, or a frame that has larvae, eggs, and then one frame of calf brood mostly. This frame is absolutely beautiful, full of larvae and eggs, but no queen, from what I can see. I hope I didn't roll her. I don't know if she's marked or not. I really never can remember at this point. I've moved hives too much. I always used to be able to remember, but when you move hives enough, it's just gets way too hard to remember. This next frame is absolutely beautiful. That is amazing. That is awesome. They've got some queen cups with eggs in them. Right down here at the bottom of the frame. So throughout this entire inspection, I'm going to be ripping up the queen cups because they have eggs in them. If they didn't have eggs, then I wouldn't really worry about it, but if they do, then it does actually matter. They can, beekeepers say they can, if they have cups, decide not to swarm still and take down the cups, but I don't know why I would take that risk. So, there's my frame of brood. I didn't see the queen yet, but I'm pretty sure she's not on there. So I'll find her later. She's a real dark queen. I didn't think this was one of my best hives, but this queen is doing a tremendous job. And such a tremendous job that every single queen cup has eggs in them. So I'm gonna smash those as I go. This hive I might actually add a honey super to, just to be safe. I don't have any drawn supers left, but if I can just give them an empty one, it may make them feel like they have more space, and so less likely to continue this swarming tendency. More cups. And new beekeepers get confused between and think that cups mean the hive's going to swarm, and that's not really the case. When you see a cup being used, you'll see new white wax on it almost every time. So that's how I'm able to tell quickly that it's not just something random. They're actually trying to swarm. It's not just making cups. And I see no queen yet, but she'll be there. I already have 3 frames of brood, so this hive's killing it, packed. But it makes sense because I boosted this hive a lot more than my other single that I already showed. I've given this hive, I think, 2 frames of brood and a couple shakes of bees. Whereas that other hive, I haven't added anything to it, so it's completely self-sufficient. It's done everything for itself. Don't see any queen yet. We'll see if my streak ends here, but you never know. So I added this frame closer to the center of the brood nest, so in the hopes that they would draw it out. And while they haven't drawn out the whole thing, they've definitely started. There's eggs, larvae, all in here. Pollen. She really should be on here. I really got to keep my eye on her now. This side doesn't have eggs yet, but I just have a feeling she's over here. Alright, this is full of honey and pollen. Still no queen. So what are the chances she's on the outside frame with honey on it? Almost none, but it's happened before, so I'd just rather not make that mistake. There's just so many bees on the frame, it's hard to see. And I don't think she's marked. I'd have to check one of my videos. I know which hive it was, but it's hard to remember. But regardless, they've got a lot of brood, and I'm very pleased with that. I'll easily be able to split this hive next weekend, so great news. There she is. At long last. Wouldn't that be funny if I missed her or lost her right after I found her? Which seems to be the case. She's right here, I know, I just saw her. She's probably hanging out near the bottom of the frame. Hard to see. Well, I know she's on this frame, even if I can't spot her again. They're just packed really tightly, so it's just hard to see. But I know she's on this frame, And so I'm gonna shake some bees and take one more frame. All right, so I took two frames of brood. They don't need to be a full frame of eggs. I just need some eggs on there. And I'm gonna shake this frame. It's got some eggs, capped brood, and pollen. Shake one more frame, give them some partially drawn combs, and get the heck out of here. But this hive is textbook. I could not do any better than this hive. If I only showed you one hive, it would be this one. It's awesome. This queen's killing it. I'll be able to split 2 more frames of brood out of them next weekend. And yeah, very excited. My guess is they'll be up to, they still have 4.5 frames of brood after the split, so I'm sure they'll rebound pretty quick. There we go. Box absolutely full of bees. And I've got another one too. And I'm looking for 2 frames of brood. That's all I ask. So this is a frame I gave them last week that had some issues. This side's perfectly good, but they're cleaning out this side. So yep, they're working it. Pulling out the old pollen, cleaning out the other side. Full of brood to the brim. Pollen too. Capped brood. Thought I saw a queen cap, but I don't think so. More brood. No queen yet. This one might be unmarked. She's one of the only ones that's unmarked, I think. This frame has eggs, larvae, and capped brood. I'm going to use it to split here. Absolutely packed with capped brood under here. She couldn't fit any more on this frame because there's some pollen on here too. Nectar, drone brood, everything. It's great. Hopefully she's on here too. I don't see her. So, next frame. They have 3 frames of brood so far. I had to guess at least 5, maybe 6. Full of larvae, eggs, dripping with nectar, literally. See it dripping onto the hive. If I shook this frame, it would come flying out. And no queen. Full of eggs, pollen. The orange pollen is dandelion, and then the yellow pollen, I don't really know. Could be a lot of things. And there's my queen. So she's looking great. Filled this frame right full of eggs. I'll put her in a clip here that I put somewhere. All right, now she's in the clip. I'm gonna shake this frame off into my box here. And then see if she has one. Just to, to count, to know for next week how things are looking. I doubt this frame has brood. Since that one's all eggs. Yeah, pollen. A lot of pollen and nectar. So they're not huge. I'm not sure if I'll be able to take 2 from them next week. I'll try though. And I need 1 more frame. I'm not going to ship them. These guys need help. So I'm hoping they can rebuild a lot next week. We shall see. You can always hope.
I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make these splits. In the next video, I'm going to show moving them into the nuke box, and this video will come out on Saturday.